Welcome to the second video for FM163 to help you with the cloud accounting package using Xero. In the first video we showed you how to register with the package, and in this video we're going to show you how to set up or to record the transactions in your account and to produce some reports. To do so, we've got two main tabs we're going to use. One is the Accounts tab and one's the Reports tab. To begin with, under the Accounts tab, we've got the accounts receivable, accounts payable, and the fixed assets as the main areas we're going to use. And under the reports, we're going to use the balance sheet and the profit and loss. Before we begin, let's change your personal user settings so that you have more authority to make all the different transactions you need to do. So I'm going to click on users and change you as the subscriber for Xero, so that you have the same authority as a financial advisor. That way you can enter things like depreciation in the accounts, which will be very useful as you go through. So the moment this is the subscriber, that will be you, the student, John Smith or whatever, Janet Smith, whatever your name is. So I'm going to click on the subscriber and change it so you have the same authority as a financial advisor, so you can, as I say, to enter all the entries you need. So as we scroll down, we'll see that we can click on the financial advisor and save that particular entry. So now you'll have all the authority you need throughout Xero, the same as your tutor. So the first thing we want to do is to record some transactions, and we're going to record transactions that are similar to Chain and Gear but not exactly the same. So if you think of the workshops we've been through, starting in April, I've recorded some pretty basic level transactions, and that's the kind of level we want to record in our personal Xero account. And so we have things like investing in the business, we have setting up the company, we have website domain registered, purchase of actual stock, we've got a fixed asset purchased. Those are the kind of levels transactions we did. They are going to be different in the Xero package. We have to make sure that they actually aren't the same value transactions and not the same as any of your fellow students. So let's have a look at recording some transactions, and the first thing we're going to do is to put in under the bank account a figure for the investment into the business. And I'm going to put through £15,000 is put into the business using the manage the account and receive money. You can enter any figure you like here, obviously within reason. Maybe the trillions or the billions isn't quite appropriate for a startup business, but you can certainly put in your investment into the business here. So I'm going to put in Darren Connolly, and the date is the 1st of April. Whatever dates you choose, month, just be consistent all the way through, so everything is recorded in the same month. It doesn't have to be April, it could be another month. In terms of description, I'm going to put here investment in business and put a quantity of £1 and £15,000, and it's going to go to an equity account because that's what it is, and it's going to be the owner's funds introduced. I'm going to save that item. So that's £15,000 recorded into the business for Darren Connolly Limited. Now we can move on to some of our revenues and our costs. So I'm going to the accounts receivable to record a sale, and as you'll see as we go to the this particular limited company accounts, there are actually some customers already recorded. So I'm going to record a new customer sale, Unlike many startup businesses, I'm already at my third sale in my first month, which is a novelty. It's normally much more difficult than that, but for the purposes of recording our transactions and seeing how this thing works, it's useful to see a number of entries. So as this process is through, we're going to put in some details for the customer. This will be customer 3 for us, and then we're going to just decide whether it's going to be a cash purchase or a credit purchase in recording the particular transaction. And once this decides that the broadband wants to work, we can put in the detail that we want. So I'm going to call this customer 3, and the date is the, let's say, the 18th of April. You can use their drop down menu if you wish, and the due date is going to be the 28th of April, so it's 30 days of 30th of May. It's due on the 20th of May, I should say, and it's our third invoice. It's automatically generated, and we could say it's for a particular stock item, and in this case it's going to be shoes. Description wise, you can put whatever you like in there. Let's say it's for 10 shoes, and there's a quantity there. Actually, the quantity should be here. Price, let's try that again. So the quantity is 10, and the price, let's call it 28. And the account we're going to put things to will be the sales. So there's our sales account. So we can now approve that transaction. So that's a sale that's gone through for the month of April, and it will be a debtor because it's not been paid in cash. So great, so we've got a record there. I'm now going to put through a cost. And this could be any cost that you think could be suitable for your business. It doesn't have to be anything directly related to chaining gear, but just a cost that is in the right category and looks sensible is really what we're after here. So I'm going to create a new invoice from a supplier and record that transaction. It could be for absolutely anything. It could be for an overhead, or could be for a cost of sale, depending on what you happen to be wanting to record. So I'm going to go for an overhead and keep it pretty simple. So it's going to be from company's house. In fact, it's going to be from a marketing company. It's all going to be in April. Again, I've clicked on the drop down, but I'm going to go straight for the 20th of April. And the due date is going to be the 20th of May. And the reference is for marketing advice. So the description is for brochure, and the quantity is 1, price is £100, and the account will be something to do with marketing. There we have advertising and marketing. It doesn't matter too much if you pick the wrong account to start with. You can always go back and change it, but just save it. Once you approve it, that's it. It's been recorded. So I'm going to approve this transaction. Hopefully in the not too distant future, when the broadband decides it's actually going to work. And there we are. We've recorded a transaction for marketing advice. If we just go across to the reports, we could look at any point in time at our profit and loss or balance sheet to see where you are, see if the transactions make sense and that it looks like you were expecting to. And although we're in November, most of my transactions have been April up until now, so I'm going to pick a year-to-date balance sheet or profit and loss to show the transactions. But as you say, it's 30th of November at the current position, so I can change that if I like to show some different entries. So I'm going to change that to a year-to-date because actually April is the only month I've entered transactions for, and we're looking already up to the end of November, which is there's no transactions there at the moment. As that processes, you'll then see the entries for the sales and costs that you've put in to the business up to this point. And there are our sales, and we've got some advertising and marketing, depreciation, and general expenses. They're actually showing there at the moment. And I'm going to do the same for the balance sheet. Again, it will naturally go to November, which is okay because there's nothing has happened since April to November. The balance sheet will actually be the same at that point in time, but it's very interesting just to keep a track to see where you're at and if it makes any sense. So at the moment we've got a current account of 15,000, which is the investment into the business. Our accounts receivables 3 sales invoices on credit. We've got accumulated depreciation of £24.66, and we've got accounts payable of £115 for a few transactions in there. And then we've got the current earnings of £690.34, and then the owners introduced equity, making sure that our net assets and our total equity are the same figure. So once you're actually at a position where you're happy with the transactions, you can then export them to a PDF or Excel document and then upload them onto Student Central. So I'm going to do that where I am now. I'm going to export this PDF document. I can open it or save it. Let's open it and just have a look at it, see what it looks like once we're happy with it. And then we can save it onto our laptop or onto a memory stick, and then straight onto Student Central. The key thing to bear in mind is that we want to certainly want a variety of transactions, but it's not about volume. You don't have to enter that many transactions. Just have a something like some sales, cost of sales, fixed asset, and perhaps the investment by you, the entrepreneur, would be ideal. So we've got a good variety of transactions there as we go through our recordings.